Hello, Graham Vincent, violin maker and musician. I've been away, I've been on holiday for a week. It's been fantastic. Went to France, the weather was lovely, all good, all well, and recharged. I'm back again. Before I went, I did spend a few days, about a week, working on this violin, which is quite interesting. A friend of mine, client of mine, basically bought this at an auction. It was in a pretty ropey state, wasn't playable at the time, and it was set up in a classical manner, which I believe is how it started life, basically. I've taken the front off, I've lightened the front considerably, which isn't something I like doing. I'm generally, with a handmade instrument, I would look at it and think, well, you know, that was the intention of the maker, to make it like that, unless it was sort of a, you know, a cheap factory fiddle or something. But this is very early work by this amateur maker, I believe. There's some legible pencil writing in the back, a lot of it isn't legible, sadly, but you can see that this was his or her third instrument, that he or she was 19 years old when it was made. It was made in England, and that's all you can see. You can't really make anything else out, which is slightly frustrating. But you can, he or she has carved their initials in the end block, initials JB. But it's a little idiosyncratic, I think it's fair to say, which is just, it makes it so much the better for it. It's got a scratched in purfling line, and then I don't know if you can see it there, but they've started the process of putting little, what I believe to be bone dots in, and then they've obviously got fed up and stopped. So you've got this just one little bit there. I'm not sure what the timbre on the back is. It looks like it's some sort of, well, it looks like a, I don't know. Do you know what? It could be maple. I don't think so. It almost looks more like birch in a way, but it's not the same as the wood on the side. The front is, well, it's more like sort of a sort of deal, you know, a sort of a fairly low quality, irregular grained, not very straight grained kind of softwood. The arching it's okay. There isn't much edge work as such. It just basically runs out. But it has an amazing charm, all of its own. These two ribs here have been replaced at some stage, and they've been replaced with mahogany, weirdly. Anyway, I repaired, I think it was, let me get this right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so about 9 splits in the front. The back was fine. I just checked through a few other things. It was, as I said, set up as a classical violin. I've actually sort of, at the client's behest, changed it to a more Baroque style. I've managed to put a fairly narrow edge in there, but I mean the neck angle wasn't particularly good anyway, so that actually all played in its favour. I kept the original fingerboard. It was a lovely piece of ebony, but the shaping of the fingerboard was shocking, so I did quite a lot of work on that. And also, it had been really hollowed out on the sides as well. So by moving the fingerboard up and taking sort of something off the end here, I was able to sort of get back a bit more of what's a much more satisfying ergonomic shape, really. I don't know if you can see this, but I've in line with making it a little bit more Baroque in style, I've put these, can you see that? Let me see if I get some paper to put under the end. Hang on a second. This is something I should have sorted out beforehand, isn't it? But yeah, so can you see the shape of that and the tailpiece as well? I put a bit of character into to give it a real Baroque style. And this violin is loaded with its own character as well. I mean, you look at can you see that? Absolutely wild, curved kind of scroll. Most unusual, not seen anything like that before. There was a huge hole in the back of the scroll peg box as well, which I've sort of repaired, reshaped the neck a little bit. I've just made it all a lot more playable. And yeah, it's very instrument, and it's got a nice volume to it. These aren't my favourite strings, to be honest. They're reasonably budget strings. I think it would sound better with some better strings, but the overall effect is great. So anyway, what else did I do to it that's worth mentioning? Yeah, that was enough, I think. And it has elevated it into being a good, usable performance violin, I think. It's nice and ringy. It's good. Nice. Anyway, I'm going to play a bit more. I'll sign off there. Cheers, folks. Look after yourselves. Bye.